Hello and welcome to Living with Annietude. We have a special guest this evening. My gratitude alarm just went off because that's what happens every time I start my show at 8 o'clock on Tuesdays. My gratitude alarm goes off, and no matter what, David, I'm always surprised. So don't ask me, it's probably going to go off again. Anyway, hi, Mr. Munford. You have joined me tonight. I'm very excited that you're here. And I have a couple of questions for you, but will you give me a little bit of background on yourself, like a quick bio? Remember, we have a pretty quick show. It's going to fly by because we're just going to chat.
Yeah.
And we will go from there. But I do have a couple questions I want to ask, but okay. Go ahead first.
The very quick bio was I grew up in a very strong Christian home, lived that way almost very strongly till 2005. And then 2005, I kind of like to call it my dive off the deep end, where I got involved. Oh my gosh, I got involved in everything. Pretty much everything that I had not been involved growing up in, I got involved in, which went from pornography, drinking, smoking cigarettes, going to clubs, going to strip clubs, doing everything crazy.
So you rebelled in a sense.
Rebelled. I rebelled very, very hard and lived that way for 5 years. And then in 2010, had to move back in with my parents at the age of 30, which that was a very humbling experience as being a male and having to call your mom and dad and said, hey, I need to move back in with you.
I'm quite sure.
Mm-hmm. So I moved back in, went through depression for about the first 2 years I was living with my parents, went through depression. Some very dark depression. And then around 2012, my dad looked at me one day and said, hey, you can't live this way. If you're going to live in our house, you need to come out of it. And the past 8 years, I have been coming out of, I've come to realize all of my stuff that I went through, all my rebellion that I went through for 5 years was I was not grateful for what I had. I thought the grass was green on the other side of the fence. Mm-hmm. So let's go live that way. And I didn't realize what I had was actually the best thing that anybody could ask for. And it was pretty much, it was the best thing. But I did not think that because I was very stubborn-headed and didn't want to.
Well, I mean, that's also sort of human nature sometimes. And sometimes, that expression where you don't know what you have until you lose it comes into play. So you can't blame yourself too much, right? I mean, the point is when things do come, I think, when things do occur in your life and you don't make the changes, that's when I think it becomes a stubborn sort of what's the real root of the problem here type thing. Whereas it seems like you took the time to sort of come out of that and do the work over these past years to get to where you are now.
Oh my gosh. I am like, even on a bad day, when I don't think things are going right, and had one of those today, I could think back, look where you've come, look what you've come through.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good point.
Look what you've overcome. You can make it through today.
That's such a good point, David. And I'll tell you why. I had a day like that today. I don't know if you've been on LinkedIn, but I wrote an article today about being stuck because I had such a stuck day to where I was like staring at my calendar, staring at my computer, staring at and like nothing was, I just felt like there was this heavy cloak on me. And I went live with Mike just a few minutes ago before we got on, and we talked about it. And it happens to everybody. And I think you make such a good and powerful point when you say, this is where I've been, this is where I've come, this is how far I've come. And you have that recognition and that awareness and that gratitude around it, that I think it's so powerful to say, I can get through this. Like I heard somebody say, and I've said this on my show before, I've heard somebody say, you've gotten through every single challenge and obstacle to this point. Have you not?
Oh yeah.
No matter how hard, no matter what we've been through or what we've seen. And I've seen dark days too. Trust me, I get it. Really dark. And we made it through. So we're here because we've made it through those times. And that's a pretty incredible thing to be able to say. Like, I've been through this. I've caused this. I've had this happen, blah, blah, blah. And I've gotten here today to be able to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
So I know that you've recently started a podcast.
Yes, I have.
would love to know what was the impetus for starting that and what the podcast is sort of about. What are you doing on it?
I think what spurred me on to do it is because I have been on so many podcasts. And I was talking to a buddy yesterday because the second episode came out yesterday. And when I started thinking back on it, I've got six. I think I've got six coming out just in this week. I'm going to be on or recording this week alone.
Wow. You're going to be on 6 different podcasts this week?
I think something to that effect between the one I did yesterday, and then by the end of the week, I'm going to be doing 6 this week. And what spurred me on was I was on the very first one I was on was good. I'll say it was good.
Yeah.
But then when I got on Made from Scratch with Gabriel Lil,
yeah,
that got me through the pandemic. That got me through I'm at home, I'm not working because I was off work for 2 weeks. And that's what started this whole journey of being on podcast or being on live, is that I needed something to I wanted to get my story out there. I wanted something to keep me busy. So I just started jumping on one podcast. And when I jumped on one, somebody else found out that I was on it. They're like, "Oh, we're going to have you on ours. Oh, we're going to have you on ours."
Isn't it amazing how it kind of snowballs, like you start to share your story and you're helping other people, but you're also helping yourself by sharing your story, right?
Oh, yeah. And that's what got me to do my own podcast, is because at first I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I was like, okay, I know eventually I want to be an encouraging coach, and I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know where that's going to take me. So at first I named it Encouragement and Coffee with David. Then I was on another podcast for my job, because I'm a service advisor at a Toyota dealership. And the lady I was on saw the red glasses, and we started talking. And when we got done, she's like, do you have a brand for like what you do? I was like, no. She said, you always have your red glasses on. Why?
That was going to be, you're not allowed to answer that yet, why you have them, because that's one of my questions. I mean, you can, I'm just kidding. But I was like, why don't you do Seeing Red with David? I was like, that's amazing. Munford.
I was like,
perfect.
I never thought about it.
It just hits you, right? It just all of a sudden hits you, and you're like, that's it.
I looked up what the color red means, and red means encouragement. It means love. It means helping other people out. I was like, that's it. That's exactly what my podcast is. It's just helping one person to find out, like, they're having a bad day, they're having a rough period in their life. Let's just talk. Let's just have somebody. Let's have a friend. Let's just have a friend to talk. Let's have somebody that may not be where we're at, but that can be there to listen to us and have somebody.
Yes, I am so with you. We have a comment from Kenny, who says, "Don't you love David's accent? It sounds so damn scrumptiously, deliciously, edibly tasty good. I love him. He's the man." I put that up because I wanted you to know that he was thinking of you.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, I am so aligned with you in that regard when it comes to just helping one person, if you can share your story. And it seems like in this time, in this day and age, and where we are with things, it really seems like it's really needed, like more so than ever. And it's like, yeah, there's a lot of us kind of doing it, being these sort of, and I don't call myself a coach, but like being this sort of encouraging, how to live your life. But yeah. I think when you come from places like you and I have come from, and you've gone through things like we've gone through, and I haven't even really even scratched the surface with you on what that is for you. But when you come from those things, you're more able to be empathic towards other people and compassionate and understanding versus just, maybe a doctor that hasn't been through and just wants to fit you into this patient profile. Exactly. Not that I'm anti-doctor, I'm not, but I mean, how do you feel about sort of that and how you can relate to others and how that affects your podcast?
if you were to go back and listen to my podcast I did yesterday with Tim Sullins, he's one of my good buddies. I've met kind of right before this pandemic started, but I met him at a Christ Center recovery group that I'm a part of and will always be a part of. And when the podcast we started yesterday, he's always wanted to get on, and I know he's been dealing with panic attacks and stuff like that. Yesterday, I was like, "Hey, I wasn't telling him I was going to have him on. We just spontaneously did it." And honestly,
it's the best, isn't it?
I didn't plan. I knew I was going to do it, but I didn't tell him I was going to do it. I sprung it on him at the last moment. I said, "We're doing a podcast today," and he was like, "What?"
And sometimes you just throw it in front of somebody. I mean, that's happened to me where you just jump on, and it's like so real and so raw,
Oh, yeah.
and it's just necessary and needed sometimes. And you can just sort of be yourself.
And it helped me yesterday. Actually, once I talked to him about that, it made me think, okay, I saw how easy it was to do the podcast and how spontaneous it was to do it. That's what it's going to be. I don't know if I'll have like a set time when I'm going to do it. I may just happily just jump on one day, record, and just do it.
Yeah,
and
I understand. I really do. I told you, Mike and I just did that where we just got really real, and it is great. The thing that people I think like about consistency is just that they can expect when you're coming on, but it's by all means, you can do it whenever you want to. And if that's your thing, maybe that's your thing. Nobody knows when I'm going to jump on, and I think that's great. I actually love the spontaneity piece because I think that when it's too regimented, it has that feel. And there's some business ones that I think work like that, and some leadership or business sort of learning podcasts that are different, but this is more of conversational and so important to be real and raw and open, which I'm learning as I go.
That's what mine are.
So Mike today. What did you say?
I don't edit my.
You don't. Yeah, I mean, I jump on. I don't have an intro. I don't have an outro. I just jump on, and I'm like, "Hey, living with Annietude." I mean, granted, I would like to get a little more techie, but it's not really my thing.
No, it's not my thing either.
So tell me, David. Tell me about. First of all, I wanted to thank you because you are such an amazing support to me and our little crew that we have, and you always jump on and you're always like available for encouragement, like you said, and it's just really nice to know you're there. And that's why I tag you and stuff, because I just appreciate your insight and your comments, and you've been a really stable, like consistent force in my journey on LinkedIn and with my podcast. So I appreciate you. I just wanted to tell you that.
Oh, thank you.
Secondly, I wanted to say, I wanted to hear about your red glasses. So how did this start?
I needed new glasses. So my wife got on Zenny.com and found glasses. She got glasses for like $6. And I was like, okay, I want something different because I always had like just plain glasses.
So when was this? Let's back up for 1 second. When was this?
Oh gosh, this is probably about a year ago.
Okay, because I didn't know if you were going to say 5 years ago or 6 months ago or.
No, this was like 5 years ago. I wanted some funky glasses because she's like, "Oh, you can get red glasses." I was like, "Yes, I want red glasses," and I don't. I have like 3 other pair of glasses, but when I started, I wore them to work one day, and I was extremely busy at work one day. I didn't wear them the next day, and I didn't get busy. And then I kind of tried them again, and I was like, okay, I wear the red glasses, I'm busy. I wear the red glasses, I'm not busy.
So you really saw a correlation?
Oh yeah, it was strange. And then people at work and then coworkers and then customers were like, they'd come in, they're like, I didn't wear them one day, and they're like, "Where are your red glasses?" I'm like, "Oh, I didn't want to wear them today. I just left them at home." They're like, "You got to wear your red glasses."
It's a real talking point. It is. It's definitely like something that people talk about, and not in a bad way, but like, you're the guy with the red glasses, like, and it's your like trademark.
That's what everybody says. And then a couple times I did some Zoom calls with some people where does she live? with a lady in I think it was Great Britain.
Okay.
I think it was Great Britain. And I had them on, and when the very first words out of her mouth when we jumped on Zoom call, she's like, "You're wearing the red glasses. I was hoping you wore the red glasses."
She was so excited.
I was like, "Oh my Lord, I'm in a totally different country across the ocean."
Yes, you're the guy with the red glasses. So do they represent like success to you? Do they represent sort of, do they feel, what do they feel like to you?
I guess it's who I am. It's just I love wearing them. It makes me stand out from other people. Everybody, even people, like I'll be out just in town, just like random strangers walk up to me and go, "Are those real?" I was like, "Yeah, they're prescription." Yeah. They're like, "We love your red glasses."
So it's become like a real thing for you.
Yeah.
It really has. That's amazing.
Yeah. I don't wear any other glasses but these. Like I have 2 other pairs, and I don't wear any other glasses but and I don't even have to wear them. Like
so that's your brand.
Yeah,
that's your brand. I love it.
It's just my brand.
So let me ask you this, David. What has been? Oh, here I'm going to bring the red glasses in. Since you've gotten the glasses, what has been your biggest learning since you've put those on the first day? What have you learned, or has been your biggest learning since that day?
I think it's been more confidence in myself, because I can see, I feel more confident when I'm wearing them. And I feel more, I don't want to be noticed. I don't want to be like stand out from anybody, but I feel like who I am and who I've become through all this. And if I'm not wearing my red glasses, I don't feel like I'm me.
Like you're you. Yeah. I mean, I think you do, you don't want to be a spectacle, but you do want to stand out and differentiate yourself. I mean, it does differentiate you.
Oh, it does.
Right. And so that's a happy, good thing. And you like that. I mean, it is important to differentiate yourself from others.
Yeah.
But I think what it brings you, like you said, is that sort of confidence piece. And it's and so Kenny said the red glasses are David's signature. Also,
they are.
Michael Paterano said gratitude is the key to everything. Great conversation. You guys are great. And then Kenny also said everybody knows my signature. Yes, he is edibly. I don't know what happened.
Hey, it's
all of a sudden you weren't there.
It's technology.
I was like, where did he go? So we're back. We're back. Sorry, everybody. I'm going to stop clicking around because that ends up being like a issue for me, obviously. So yeah, I mean, so everybody has, I think that when you are trying to create a brand for yourself and you are trying to do whatever it is you're doing, especially if it's helping others, and you want to be remembered and you want to be thought of when someone thinks, oh, I need to be encouraged. They want to think of the red glasses guy. Yeah. Like living with Annietude, like Annietude is my hashtag, like that started because Gabe was like, that's so awesome. That needs to be a hashtag. And so that's when it became something. Right. But you will see over time, if you haven't already, that your brand will evolve into more if you choose for it to. Like, oh, yeah. my brand of living with Annietude has evolved into a way of life and a way of living and breathing, and my website and, helping others and healing others, and a way of life that's, different than just a slogan or so it can represent that you are, if you do want to, that's your goal, to become the encouragement coach. You can be the coach with the red glasses. Like that's your signature sort of strength.
Yeah. And I've also noticed that when I'm wearing, a lot of times in my new role at my job, they gave me a promotion. I don't know if it's because of the red glasses, but people they trust me more when I tell them service that they need for their vehicles. When I wear the red glasses, they don't say, no, we're not going to do that. They're like, okay. If that's
You
what we
know
need
what's
to do.
what? All right, so I'm going to throw this monkey wrench at you. Okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
venture to guess that it has nothing to do with your glasses. It has everything to do with you. I think that you have a confidence about you, and you feel better with as your brand and as who you are with these glasses on. Therefore, your confidence shows, and it comes off as very trustworthy and reliable, and people feel that. It's an energy.
Oh yeah.
And do you agree?
Oh, I totally agree. Because there's been a couple times where I don't feel like I'm going to make the sale or be able to get them to fix their cars, because sometimes it's been like a really big ticket, but at the end they're like, okay, if that's what we need to do, fine, let's do it.
And you think your personality is probably a little bit changed or maybe sharpened or
I think
since
so.
you started this.
I think it's been more sharpened because I found more confidence in myself, because it kind of pushed me out of the
Funk.
to do it. It made me do it. It kind of spurred me on to just be who I am.
Be who you are and stand out and differentiate.
Yeah.
And I think that as a customer, from a customer standpoint, definitely comes off when you are like, if you would be waiting on me or helping me with a project or something that I'm, especially if I'm going to spend money, you want to trust, you want somebody reliable, you want somebody honest.
Yes.
And I think that when you're more confident in yourself and who you are, you stand up a little bit straighter and you truly live with Annietude. So I think you're doing that. And that's probably why you see your successes ramping up. And also, like, I don't know if you'd be able to go on all these podcasts and be a guest on everybody and start your own if you didn't have this confidence. Do you think that's part of it?
I never, when I started, on April 7th, when all this started, when I was laid off work, I got home and I was thinking, okay, what am I going to do to keep myself busy? And I don't want to just sit at home and do nothing or sit at home and watch TV all the time. I was like, okay, what am I going to do? How can I keep myself busy? And when I started these podcasts, when I started just randomly jumping on a live with Gabriel live spontaneously, I started realizing, oh my gosh, I really do have a story. Oh my gosh, people really do want to hear my story. Oh my gosh, people need to hear my story. And they need to know, when you get down, when you've been down, when you've been to the darkest pits of that I was in, you can come back and you can be
amazing lesson and message.
Yeah,
you
can be successful. You just got to believe in yourself, and you got to take it one day at a time, and don't let anybody push you down.
David, you know what your glasses did for you? They reminded you or taught you your value.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing you say. So when we say confidence and when we say, you feel good about yourself and you feel like you have more energy or you can do more, it's all about your value, and you realize it or found it or maybe refound it. I'm not sure. But when you did the work to get through and out of the depths of despair, which, hi, I've been there. Nice to see you. I'm glad we're both out of it. Yeah. You found your value and your worth. And I think everything that we talk about, everything that we do in our life comes down to our self-worth. The things that we do that are good, the things that we do that are negative, the things that we do to help others or not help others, it all comes down to our worth.
Oh yeah. And I didn't have that. Oh my God. I never had self-worth. I thought of myself less than anybody else for so many years. And then when I finally realized that I'm just as capable as the next guy, and I'm just as loved as the next guy, that's what kind of like the slap in the back of the head, say, see what you can do if you just believe in yourself.
Yes.
If you just believe in yourself,
it's being read.
If you just believe in yourself, look what you can do. Look how successful you can be.
But what do you attribute your that turn of the corner? You know, like there's always sort of a turn of the corner of it doesn't have to be an event, but something that occurred or a timeline.
It was when I started focusing on myself and started realizing that everything that I went through those 5 years, my parents did love me. My parents were there for me. They were not trying to control me at all because they had their own lives. I was taking it as they were trying to control me, and they were never trying to control me. And it's when I got over the stubbornness of believing the lie of they wanted to control me and not, they were just wanting to help me. That's when I was like, oh my gosh.
You know what you did? I think you got out of your own way.
Yeah.
So when you were from what I hear you saying, you were in your own way. Mm-hmm. And then when you got out of your own way, you were able to see that all that stuff around you was care and concern and love. And it wasn't all that other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't trying to push you down. It was trying to help and support.
No. And then when I met my wife and she realized what I went through and some things we went through before the 2 years that we were dating. And I realized she's going to be there. She's going to be there. She's not going to leave me because she could have. And I gave her plenty of opportunities while we were dating to walk away. She didn't walk away. I was like, okay, she's not going to walk away from me. My parents aren't going to walk away from me. My sister's not going to walk away from me. I have people in my life that love me, that care for me, that are here for me. Get over yourself. And
I have a quote, David. I have a quote on my wall and on my fridge, on my wall over here and on my fridge that says, I am not alone. I will never leave myself. And what you just reminded me of was that, because truly, yes, they will love you and be there for you because you are lovable and you are worth it, but you will never leave yourself.
Yeah.
And that's at the end of the day, like, you're like, I have them, and that's great to have that support system, but like, you really never, even in the depth, you never left yourself.
Yeah.
So you just had to find yourself again, or find your worth somewhere underneath the rubble.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that. Yeah. I do. And that's pretty amazing. So believe it or not, I'm going to tell you this. You're going to be like, what? It's 8:27. So it flies by. It's never enough time, but it is. Tell the audience how they can see or hear your podcast.
Best
or
way,
see or reach you if they want to.
They can reach me on LinkedIn. I'm always on LinkedIn. Well, I'm not on LinkedIn as much as I have been because work's crazy, and
that's okay. You have red glasses on. Of course, work's crazy.
Yeah, we have a new puppy, so when I get home, yeah, she's down.
That's like having a newborn.
Oh, 4-month-old German Shepherd Lab puppy. So,
oh well, can I see the puppy or no?
She's downstairs.
Oh my God, 4 months, so she's still kind of little but wild.
Oh, she's huge.
Yeah,
she's
not little at all.
She's massive. She's downstairs. Here,
what's her name?
Stella. I'll walk downstairs.
Okay.
I'll walk downstairs.
All right.
She's been a good girl.
So if people want to hear your podcast, just tell me while you're walking.
So if they want to hear my podcast, they can find it on Apple Pod, anywhere and everywhere podcasts are. You can find it on podcast.
Just look up your name or red glasses.
Seeing Red with David Munford. And it's on Apple Podcast. So, and come here. Come here. Let's see. Come here. Come here. Get up. Sit.
Let's see.
This is Stella.
Hi, Stella. Hi. Oh my God. First of all, let me just tell you something. She's tiny and going to get a lot bigger.
Oh, she's not tiny.
She's little. She's not as big as I thought she was going to be. You said she was massive. Well, oh, look at that puppy face.
Oh, she has a personality like a human. And when we got her,
German Shepherds are so smart.
I said I was outnumbered because she is so smart as a human that it's
Scary. It's scary. Well, I'm so glad that you have her, and I'm so glad I got a chance to talk to you and hear about your red glasses and everything.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It has. I appreciate you, and just hang around. I'm gonna. It's 8:30, so I'm gonna go off. But hang around. This is the outro. Watch how great it is. It's really techy. Everybody, thanks for watching Living with Annietude podcast. Bye.